Hi guys. So this video is in continuation with the first video which we have discussed about singleton design pattern. Okay. So in defining singleton design pattern, what were the steps that we followed? The first step was we need to create private constructor. Okay. That was the first step. Second step was we need to create a private static reference of the class and we have to assign it to null. Okay. And then we have to create a public static class type reference, that is get instance method. Okay. And then within that we have to see whether synchronization is required or not, if multi-threading is there or not. If it is not multi-threaded environment, then there is no use of putting synchronized method. Okay. But if there is multi-threaded environment, then we have to take care of double check locking concept. Okay. So what we used to do in that case we used to check whether reference is null or not. Okay. That was the first time it will check whether the first thread is allowing or not. And let's suppose more than one number of thread is coming at the same time. So at that point of time, what we have to do, we have to check it second time as well by synchronizing that class. So we have to make use of synchronized singleton dot class or any class name dot class which you are using. And then within that, you have to check it again whether reference is really null or not. If it is null, then only create a new instance, otherwise return the reference as it is. Okay. So like that, we have implemented singleton class. So there will be some issues that will be coming across in case of singleton. So singleton can be broken in three ways. Okay, that is very important for interview perspective as well and for your knowledge perspective as well. Okay, because singleton and factory design patterns, these are very much important for interview perspective. Okay, so a singleton can be broken in three steps. What are the three ways with the help of which we can break the singleton design pattern? The first step is you are making use of private constructor, right? So with the help of reflection, you can break the singleton design pattern. Okay. So how can we avoid that? So basically, there are three ways. So overview I'm giving. So I will go detail into it step by step. So what are the three ways? The first step is with the help of reflection class, we can break the singleton design pattern. Second is with the help of serialization and deserialization of concept. In that way, you can break the singleton design pattern. Okay. So with the help of serialization, you can serialize the class. Okay. But while deserialization, okay, there may be a chance like hash code is not matching while you are doing the serialization process. Okay. So in that way, it can break the singleton design pattern. And third way is with the help of cloning. Okay. So if you are cloning the existing singleton class, then if we are using dot clone method, then what will happen? It will create a new instance of that particular class. So if you are returning the hash code, you will observe that it will create new hash code. The original instance hash code will vary from the cloned object instance. So these are the three problems which we are coming across with singleton design pattern. Okay, so we can break it. So how can we resolve that? So that we will look into this video. Okay, so let's go deep into it and we'll see each one of the three, like how we can resolve those. So let's get started. So let me share my screen once. I hope you can see my screen now. So here I have defined a singleton class. Okay. So singleton class, it's implementing serializable interface and it's implementing clonable interface. Okay. So here we have defined the serial version UID. Okay. So that it manages what is the version UID while deserializing and while serializing process as well. Okay. So here we have made use of volatile. So we have to check whether it is a multi-threaded environment or not. Okay. So to handle all type of environment, I have written volatile. Okay. So basically what volatile will do, volatile will check whether there is multiple threads coming or not, and it will guarantee the visibility across multiple threads. So let's suppose one thread is making change in a particular reference value. Okay. And the value from, let's suppose a value is 5 initial. Originally a value of a is 5. Now thread 1 has acquired the object lock and has changed the value of a from 5 to 10. Okay, but that is not communicated across other threads. So let's suppose thread 2 and thread 3 are using this a value for their calculation, then it will give wrong output, correct? So to resolve that problem, what volatile will do, volatile will share that value across the main memory. Okay, so initially values will be stored in a cache memory of each and every reference variables, but we need to share in the main memory so that all the threads who are working upon will get to know that value of A has been changed. Okay, so to look into that issue, volatile has come into the picture so that all other threads will be informed and visibility will get guaranteed that one thread has made the change and that change will be visible across all the threads. So for that, my volatile keyword is being used over here. Okay, and then you can see we are making use of private constructor. If you want to print something, you can print, otherwise you can leave empty. Okay, then we are making use of get instance method over here. Okay, so within that, we are using double check locking concept. It's just for multi-threaded environment. If it is not multi-threaded environment, then it's not required. Okay, directly you can check if reference is null, you can return the new reference. Okay, but in this we have covered multi-threaded as well as single-threaded environment. So we have to know both. Okay, so we have to learn the two aspects as well. So here we are doing double check locking. Okay, we are using synchronized singleton.class, which is this class. Okay, and then we are checking whether the reference is null or not. If it is null really, then it will return the new instance. Otherwise, it will return the old instance only. Okay, so like that we have created. Then we have printing the singleton, and then this two methods are there. So about this we will come in a few minutes. So this is the implementation class, that singleton. Okay, so this is containing the main method. Okay, so here what I am doing, here we are creating the instance of this singleton class. Okay, so this is the singleton class, okay, which we have created over here, and we are creating the instance of it using get instance method. So initially get instance method will be called over here, and then it will check whether instance is null or not. If it is null, it will do double check and then it will create a new instance of it. So initially it will be null only. Okay, and then it will create a new instance, and the second time, if it's already created, it will not create a new instance. Okay, so we are printing here hash code. Okay, so we are printing hash code over here, and then here also what we are doing, we are calling the get instance method again, and then we are printing the hash code again. Okay, so like that we are doing. So if you run this code, you will see like these two hash codes are same. Okay, so these two hash codes are same. That means it is returning me the same hash code. That means singleton is preserved. Okay, so till now singleton is preserved. So now we are going to break the singleton design pattern. Okay, so the first step which we have told like how we can break it is with the help of the reflection. Okay, with the help of reflection we can break the singleton design pattern. So what we have done here, we are making use of class singleton class. Okay, it's creating a reference variable for this class. Okay, and we are using class dot for name. Okay, so this is the name. We are giving the fully defined package directory. Okay, with this where the exactly this class is located, I am giving the exact package directory over here for the class. And then we are giving the constructor, we are creating the constructor. Okay, so with the help of this class reference, we are calling one method which is get declared constructor. Okay, so get declared constructor returns a constructor of the class. Okay, which will reflect the object creation of that class. Okay, so object is created for the singleton class. So without using new keyword, with the help of constructor, we are creating the object of this singleton class. Okay, so constructor is created now, and then we are this method is very important, constructor dot set accessible true. So with the help of this line only, you are giving the access to the user, like you can create the object of this singleton class again and again. Okay, so with the help of this, what is happening, you can create multiple instances and it will return a different hash code every time you are calling the singleton. Okay, so here what we are doing, with the help of this constructor reference we are creating over here, we are calling new instance method. Okay, so new instance will create me the new instance. It is this accessibility I am giving it. Okay, and then I am creating the new instance. Without giving access, if you are creating new instance, it will not allow. Okay, so for creating the new instance, I want to give it access. Okay, so I have to give it as true. Then after that, this is the new instance of the singleton. Okay, so if we are printing the hash code over here, so you will see now my hash code is broken. Here you can see hash code is broken over here. It's now different hash code is showing. That means singleton is being broken. Okay, so how can you resolve this? So you don't have to go much deeper into it. Just you have to know that with the help of enum. Okay. So there is a concept called enum with the help of which you can resolve this reflection issue, which is breaking the singleton. You can preserve the singleton design pattern when you are defining this instance within enum. So you have to define one separate, similar to class, you can define one enum. Okay. So within that enum, you will create the instance of the singleton class. Okay. And for the instance, you can't create the instance of the enum. Okay, it's globally created constructor, so you can't invoke the constructor by yourself. So it will be invoked only once. Okay, so multiple times you can't invoke constructor with the help of enum because it's globally accessible, right? And enum will create its own instance as and when required only once. Okay, so it will not, you will not be able to create the instance. So instance creation is restricted with the help of enum. But the problem is that it will be eager loading. There will be not lazy initialization. So what is eager loading and what is lazy initialization? So lazy loading means, lazy initialization is same as lazy loading. So lazy loading means, let's suppose you want the value of certain data as and when we are calling. Okay, but in case of eager loading, what is happening? All the data will be preloaded. So let's suppose there are thousands of data and I don't want the value of thousands of data as of now. I want it in later point of time. Okay. But in eager loading, it will load all the data at the initial instance only. So that is not required. Okay. But in case of enum, it will do the eager loading. Okay. It will eagerly load all the values in the initial stage only. Okay, so it will not wait when I will call that particular object and I will call that particular reference, then only it will load the value. No, it will not do like that. So initially only it will load all the data. Okay, so that is the problem with enum. Otherwise it will solve the reflection property. Okay, it will solve this issue of which is created due to reflection, and the singleton property will be preserved with the help of enum. Okay, so now let's go on to the next stage. Okay, so the second way how you can break the singleton design pattern will be with the help of serialization and deserialization. So with the help of serialization, you can see, so there are two steps that you have to see over here. First step is you are using object output stream. Okay, so with the help of object output stream, you can do serialization, and with the help of object input stream, you can do deserialization. Okay, so serialization is what? Converting your Java object into a stream of bytes and saving it into database or files. That is only serialization, correct? So for that you need file. Okay, to save the data you need file. So we have created one file, like you have given like serialization.txt, any file you can create of your own. Okay, you can create a new file of your own and you can give the path of that text file. Okay, so after creating the file, so you can do it in two steps also. You can create file output stream fs equal to new file output stream, and you can pass the difference value in object output stream constructor. Okay, or in one single line, if you want to do, you can do it in this way. You can create the object output stream, and then you can pass the new file output stream, and you can pass the path of the file where the file is located. Okay, and in this file, the data will be loaded as soon as serialization process is done. Okay, and then there is a write object method. Okay, so with the help of write object method, which is a part of object output stream, you are writing the data into that text file. Okay, whatever text file you are passing over here, it will write the data into that. So after doing this, after doing these two lines, serialization will be completed. Okay, so till this line, serialization is done now. So now next stage is we have to deserialize. Okay, so whatever data is there in DB or in text file, we need to fetch the data and we have to deserialize it. Okay, so deserialization is a reverse of serialization. Means it converts a stream of bytes to Java code. Okay, so here we are getting the data from the file. Okay, so it's like input. We are taking the data, means we are getting the input from the file. Okay, output means object output stream means you are storing the data, output data into a file. And object input means you are taking the data as an input from the file only. Okay, so here we are passing the file by giving file input stream. Here it was file output stream, but here it is file input stream. Okay, so we are taking the data, we have to make use of file input stream. Okay, and here we have passed the same file name. Okay, and then we did typecasting to constructor because it's of object type. Okay, object input stream type. So here you can see the return type is of object type, so we have to typecast it with singleton. But here the right object, the return type was void. So it was not required to typecast it. Okay. So this concept we have to remember this. So after doing the read object, this serialization process is completed. So after this, I am printing the hash code of two values, original singleton and broken singleton. Okay. So this one is the reference for broken singleton of deserialization, and this one was for serialization. Okay. Object output stream. So this one was the original singleton. Okay, that was the original singleton which was created over here. Okay, and this one is the broken singleton which I have stored it. Now let's see whether it is broken or not. Yes, here you can see original singleton class hash code is this one, and the broken singleton class, after doing the deserialization, you can see the hash code is getting changed. Okay, that means my singleton is broken as of now because hash code value is changing. So that means new instance is getting created while doing the serialization and deserialization process. So uh, how can we remove this problem? Okay, how can we eradicate this problem? Okay, so basically one method you have to make use of, which is called as read resolve method. So within here, you come here, there is a method called read resolve method, which I've commented it over here. So if I uncomment it, okay, so this with the help of read resolve method, you can make the singleton preserved. Okay, you can make the singleton property preserved. Okay, its return type is of object type and will return the instance. Okay, so it will not create new instance, it will return the existing instance only. Okay, so while serialization and while doing the deserialization, it will check whether the instance is changed or not. So it will make the instance as it is, which was there during serialization process. Okay, so if I run the code now, you will see here. See now, the hash code value is same now. It's not changed. That means my singleton is preserved. So how my singleton got preserved? By making use of this method. It's of protected type. That means it's accessible only with the help of inheritance. Okay. So read resolve method is being there, called internally, and it is returning me the same instance. So it's avoiding creation of new instance during deserialization process. So this was the second way. How can we break the singleton design pattern and how can we solve it? Now, the third way to break the singleton design pattern is through cloning. Okay, so if we do the clone of the existing instance of singleton, then what it will do, it will create a new instance of the singleton class. So now you see here, we are doing the original singleton, which I have already created over here, singleton.get instance. One instance is already created. So now I am doing the clone of it over here. Here I am doing the clone of the original singleton, which was already created. Okay. After that, so here you can see the clone is of object type. So I have to typecast it to current class type, which is singleton. So I have made use of typecasting here. Okay. Then I am checking the hash code now. So if I check the hash code now, you can see it is different. That means after doing the cloning, it is changing the hash code. That means it's creating new instance of this singleton class. So here you can see I have overridden the clone method and I'm returning super.clone. It's returning me the cloned value. That means the existing object is there already. I'm creating a new instance and I'm returning it. Okay. So hash code will obviously change because it's creating a new object. Okay. But how can we resolve this issue? Okay. I want that in case of cloning also, it should not create new instance. The clone means new instance only. Clone means it will create a new instance, but we can restrict it by throwing exception. Okay. So how we can remove this? What exception we need to throw over here? We need to throw over here one exception, throw new clone not supported exception. Here you can pass a message like cloning is not allowed. Okay. Give semicolon. So here, what I have done, I have thrown one exception. Okay, it's like already created exception within this object class. Okay, so this is being thrown. Okay, in the method definition. Okay, this is also a way to throw exception. Okay, so here if now you can see like it's a different hash code, right? That means new instance is already created. Now I'm trying to run it again. So if I try to run it again, see what is coming here. it is throwing me exception like cloning is not allowed. Understood, right? It's printing me that message and it is throwing me clone not supported. Now it will preserve the property of singleton. So it has not returned me the same instance, but it has not created new instance as well. So my singleton property will get preserved with this. So now you have understood the three ways how can we break the singleton design pattern and how can we maintain it. Okay, so this is very important and this will be asked in the interview, whether it's for fresher or it's for experience. This is very important. So try to practice it and try to revise the code for it as well. Okay, this code is also very much useful. They can tell you like how can you prove, like for serialization, deserialization, and for cloning, it will give the different it will create a new instance. How can you prove that? So for that, you have to check with the help of hash code. If you compare the hash code, and if it is same, that means it is creating the same instance. If it is different, that means it's creating different instance. Okay. So one homework for you is there, like for reflection. I haven't told you with the help of enum how can you solve that. So it's a homework for you to find it out. Try to search it out. Like how can you solve the singleton issue with the help of enum? Okay, try to implement that. It will be a lot of fun and you will learn also a lot of things. Okay. So I hope you have got the concept, you got the knowledge, like how we are, its singleton concept is very much important. It's used in our projects as well in the company, and it's asked in interview many times. Okay. So there are a lot of questions that will come across in case of singleton, like how can you implement singleton in multi-threaded environment? How can you handle singleton? What is double check locking concept? And these, how can you break singleton design pattern? How can you resolve the issues which is created while breaking the singleton? Okay, how can we remove that issue? So these type of questions can come, so be ready with that. Okay, so I hope you got the concept, you got the idea. Okay, so we'll see you in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye.